Welcome to House Common Blood, where the strangers are family. Every episode contains graphic content, including but not limited to copious amounts of blood, unnecessary cursing, death of all ages, be they infants or immortals, fantasy drug use, nudity, mentions of sex, and sound effects of various qualities. We cannot stress enough that this is mature content with adult themes. You have been warned. May the albatross guide your way.
Welcome to House Blood. I'm Gray, your DM and host, and we are a D&D 5.5e podcast currently playing the adventure Hangmen, Worms of Frostheart. The story follows a group of misfits facing sentient calamities threatening to destroy the world, led by a Genasi army called the Rebirth Bastion. Most of the monsters I use are created by Ohai Mark. You can support his Patreon, although everything he makes is free. The music in our games is curated by D&D Breakfast Club on YouTube, with credit to each respected artist. I'm going to start off with introductions, firstly with Mega.
Hello, I am Mega, and I play Eddie, the Autoboy Triton Bastard class. That's it.
As well as Aluya. Nita.
Hi there, Nita here. I play Aluya Oblak, the human cleric sorcerer.
As well as our good friend Recusant.
Hello, I'm Recusant. I play Mahavet Sohavidash. I'm the sap that holds the party together.
As well as Moomin.
Hello, my name is Moonmean. I play Seer, who is our alchemist artificer who is always on fire and is currently in an emotional wreck.
And finally, Tyler.
Hello, I am Tyler. I play Gumo, the undead, currently troublemaker, or attempted troublemaker within the city, and occasionally soundboard failure.
That sounds just about right. Who can tell me what the hell happened last session? Everyone at once.
We finished the trial. Aluya got upset at Eddie. And there might be some tension over there. And the city is feeling we won the trial. We did so well that the society kind of looks at us greatly, or becoming greater than we originally thought it would.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys really dealt with some issues, such as racial equality. Even offering to help with the rebuild and reconstruction of Frostheart. A lot of promises have been made. A lot of things have been said. We even had characters try to derail and destroy the trial via a uprising. And yeah, religious doctrines were slapped onto the table from a certain zealot in our party, and our friendly otter stayed chill and cool throughout everything. But yeah, trial's done. You guys got a slap on the wrist.
Also, just to mention Gray too, don't forget, Mega, what time do you think I would have had the speakers turned on for this court case? But I think I would have done it early so that everybody could hear it throughout the town.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
So there was speakers going throughout town with this particular trial. It was broadcast a la Full Metal Alchemist style.
I'm pretty sure Eddie gave the verbal cue like at the end of the session before last.
Correct. That's what I'm letting you know because I did follow that verbal cue.
Okay.
More for Gray to remember.
Yeah. So just for my understanding, like the broadcast didn't happen just yet, but it is about to start. Am I correct with that?
What?
That's just the way it sounded like it was described.
No.
Unless the verbal cue was at the start.
It started at the end of the session before last.
Okay, there
So
we
when
go.
the trial,
Yep, there we go.
So the session before the trial started, like
He named it
just
loud
that's
mouth.
where I got confused. Yeah. All right. No, absolutely. It happens. No checks. Don't even need a scene. It happened. It was all over Frostheart. First, Mavet, roll me. I'm gonna say 2d10 just because there were some pretty wide gaps. I wanted more detail. But you still did an admirable job.
I know I did.
That being said, let's start off with a bang here. Let's see.
Seer X Aluya. Quite the bang.
Oh yeah.
well,
All right.
might not be the kind of bang that some of us were hoping for.
So I'm gonna bring you over to what we got here. All right. So just to explain what the players are looking at here. This is the closest map I could find to represent this this courtroom while maintaining that theme of ice architecture. The only thing to keep in mind with this particular map is, yes, there is a dais, but there is no grand throne or passage behind the throne to the north of the map. Otherwise, this map is pretty accurate towards the architecture that you guys are in. I'm gonna say the trial is over. You are all amongst each other. Perhaps you're about to say something, do something, like once the trial was over. You see the councilmen of the Five-Finger Council speaking to the crowds. The crowds are represented by those large tokens. Again, Solmaris is losing himself in a fit with Eddie, like throwing him off. And Meliolora is speaking to the merchants about the reconstruction effort, although, you know, she has the biggest burden out of the councilmen. And you see Islith giving you a approving smile, along with Corvus. Now, you may position yourselves on the map to how you would see yourselves in this very moment. Right now, I have it set up where there would be a podium in the center where Eddie is currently standing, and I would presume you guys are surrounding him.
Oh, we're getting jumped. All right.
Go to the corner of the room.
No backstabbing me.
I'll give you guys somewhat autonomy here. Just keep it within that blue box. Because I know Guma was walking around talking to the respective elves. So yeah, take a moment, decide where you want to be. If you're okay with where you are, you're okay with it.
Are we going back to certain events? I thought we finished.
Yeah, I thought we had stepped outside.
Yeah.
No.
Like we had finished the trial, gone outside, seen the city was healing, or
Yeah, and then
No.
I said I
It-
was going to be alone.
Yes, but let me be very clear. Like at the end of the session, I said that although we don't have enough time to move forward, I want at least a glimpse of something you guys would be doing later tonight. We didn't actually move forward past the actual court itself. That was just a way of me immediately reflecting your guys' actions after the trial so it didn't get lost or forgotten weeks ahead.
got it.
Then,
Yeah.
with that said, I feel like Aluya would try their damnedest to be as far away from Seer as possible. Would that be accurate, Anita?
That was correct. I did
Yeah.
stay away from you.
Well,
But
hold
yeah.
on now. That's not as far as possible. There's still room in the box.
No, because I was next to Eddie because technically I'm on trial myself.
Yep. Makes sense.
Then I'll put myself here because if we were just counseled, that's kind of what it would be then.
Yeah, looking towards the door, getting ready here.
I'm not the one in, threat. That would mean Mavette's right by Eddie as well, because that means they're also, on trial as well.
All right.
Yeah, they didn't try me for my attempts at reciting rebellion,
Almost.
inciting a rebellion.
They almost did. All right. If that's the case, if everyone feels comfortable with their positions, I'll tell you what happens next year. Upon the trial being finished, you hear a murmur within the crowd. And looking backwards at the doors, you see that one of the sea elves is attempting to jostle the door and is having trouble. Speaking with one of the guard looks confused, looks at the door, attempts to investigate. What you two notice, who has the highest passive in the group? I believe that would maybe be Aluya. Let's see here.
Perception.
Passive.
Uh,
It's
I've
up
only
there
got a
with
15.
either Eddie or Aluya. I believe you guys have some of the higher ones in the party.
I don't even know where to find that.
It's fine.
It's the grayed out numbers next to the scale
Yeah,
in like
19.
that middle section there. So like next to your +5 modifier, like I have for my perception, it says 15.
Yeah. And I believe like the highest is 15 in the party. Nope, 19. I guess Mavet, you being laser focused here. Yeah, well, it's because he meets the threshold where you guys are not surprised by this. Mavet would have enough time to alert the party. But
Well, it's also
Mavet,
high wisdom.
yeah, but Mavet,
sense.
as you're watching over Eddie, acting as his bodyguards, you see two of the guards like splitting through the crowd here.
Okay.
They
That's
begin
fine.
to split through the crowd here. I'll show you a picture here. And as they make it around in your area, you notice something off. With their armor, they're wearing some kind of cloth, maybe even a cloak of sorts. And you hear the jingling of glass tinking against metal as they have a stride. Like there's something underneath the cloak. You see one of the guards grabbing a necklace of beads. They're fiery red. He grabs or plucks one and throws it into the air. And as it goes into the air and reaches its highest arc, you see an explosion of a fireball, and the entire room shakes. And you see, the man yelling here, just saying, "All right, give me your attention!" And looking around at the crowd, you see the guards dropping their spears, pulling out bows. You're seeing them drawing back, a couple more trying to swarm around the person, and goes, "Not another move, or else I'll light everyone ablaze." And he's just pointing, and the other man has a couple that he's jingling, throwing up and down in his palm. They're both looking around. Before I even continue with this, because again, a spell was cast by an item here in this courtroom. It hasn't hurt anyone yet. Is there any immediate actions before I move forward with the role play here?
I could cast Globe of Invulnerability.
Yeah, I want to do something a little bit more themes in the area we're at. Let me just go ahead and read it, make sure I can do that.
Yeah.
I would not mind trying to figure out what the hell he tried to cast or what the potential damage of what he just did.
That would require me look at the handy dandy list here. But I do believe that would be a Arcana check to double check an item or a magic item of sorts.
Right. I have no more Flash of Geniuses if we're sticking with like the idea of like I haven't recovered anything yet, so I have nothing.
Recommendo.
I want to cast Wall of Water surrounding the people, like making a protective circle around us.
15.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good.
We can't do anything about the people up north.
Okay, so let's go one thing at a time here. So first of all, Seer, with the 15, you would know that what the man is holding is called a necklace of fireballs.
Oh, no, that's a bad one.
Yep, you see that he used a charge here. But again, this seems like a terrorist situation here. Things could get unpredictable, like if it plays out wrong. Mavet, show me the exact template here, because again, the 4 groups will represent the civilians.
So the civilians are up near the top?
Top and bottom. Zoom out.
I mean, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah. Just imagine that the giant blue tokens represent the entire group, and I'm willing to be a little bit more liberal with your radius here, just to say that they're squeezing within, if you want to make it work.
Oh no, yeah, I'm worried about me.
Okay.
And
so it comes up around you guys. Gotcha.
I think if Mavhead does that, I think Seer would step forward, not like up in front to the terrorist people, essentially. If they know what that is, I think they would put the hand gesture and be like, "What are you seeking?"
What are we seeking? What are we seeking?
Yes, I need to know, because if you just say, "What are we seeking?" I can't really answer that question.
And you just see a look of disgust in his eyes as he is looking at you. It brings me so much goddamn hatred seeing this sham of equality. And you see him just looking around, using public funds for monuments of the elite. And you just see him giving a death glare at the council members. What we just saw today was a miscarriage of justice, and I won't stand for it. And you see him plucking more of these beads off.
I have a question out of character quick. If I silence him, would that work? I don't know how that works.
I can't give you that answer.
It wouldn't cancel the fireballs.
It wouldn't?
No, because it's from an item.
It's an
and
item.
He's not speaking anything.
Okay. Yeah, that's where my whole hang-up was. Got it.
Just to
where
be clear,
would he
it's
be
the
at?
one person, right?
No, it's 2.
2.
Each
There are
with a
2
set of
people.
fireball necklaces.
And it's on each corner of the square here. I'll quickly show you. One
Oh,
right
I
here,
see them now. Okay.
and one right here. Each one of the yellow tokens.
Excuse me.
Ooh, there. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I yawned. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Ooh.
Are they to scale? Like, how far away are they?
Yep. It is to scale, and I will tell you. There is a wall of water around you, and they're 25 feet away from you, respectively, and equal.
Also, that water is 10 feet high? It says in the spells listing there.
We also need to see if it's visible through.
Well, it
just
says
says
that
visible
ranged weapon
terrain.
attacks can enter the wall's space, so
Well-
presumably it's at least somewhat see-through.
Well, no, it doesn't specify. That doesn't specify anything on that. That's just saying that you can shoot through the wall. That doesn't say
Yeah.
visibility.
What we're specifically looking for is any language about
Or
obscurement.
opaque. Yeah.
Right. That's the main thing. So if it doesn't say anything like that, it should be see-through unless, and I know this for a rule, if it says anything with ice is difficult to see through if it's frozen. But if it's water, that's different.
It's just water. It mentions
Yeah,
that
water, unless
cold
you do
damage
cold
can
damage
cause
to
it to
it.
freeze, but
Right. So ice is not visible through easily, but in this case, okay, it doesn't say anything about that. Okay, so Eddie should be able to see through.
Yeah. But you see that these two both have items in hand. They're both wearing cloaks, and there's glass tinking underneath with each gesture that they're making. They're looking at threatening the crowd and the council members. It looks like the next fireball will not be a warning. But if no one has anything else to say, I can continue on here a little bit because I'm stopping.
Hindsight, I should have putted around one of them, but
Yeah,
you know.
it's fine. I do want
to ask them a question.
Yeah. We can go questions, but I want to at least point out, just so you guys don't feel pressured, I'm going to intermediately pause without taking too many significant actions, just so we can go piece by piece here. Seer, you have the floor.
Right. So in their case, if that's true, this person just kind of being terroristically saying about injustice and inequality.
Yep.
Interesting enough.
You're breaking
Way
up.
to stop them is to let them. I hope I'm not breaking up. Give me 1 second.
One more time. You're fine. One more time.
Okay. All I was gonna say is essentially the best way to stop from people continuing acts is letting them talk. So, and I'm not gonna move my token right off the bat, but I'm gonna say Seer's moving not towards the person, but kind of in between.
Okay.
Just leaving the podium. They're not doing a threatening stance or anything. They're not even hiding their hands really.
Okay.
They're just kind of walking and kind of explaining. It's continue. You have more to say, is explain.
I have too much to fucking say, and everything I do say gets shut up by these freaks. And again,
Not at this moment.
Gestures at the council. The only way
That's why
to cure us this disease, this cancer, and Frostheart is by getting rid of that. Glares at the council members. That greed, that evil. They are the root. And looking towards the crowd. They are the root! All it takes is a single bead, and we will be set free. And there's more of a reverence to their eyes as they look and stare at the beads in their hands.
I don't
But again,
think that's a great solution of things. And I say this just because the unfortunate truth of you doing such an act of that is that what would we learn from? Those are that of your older times have seen many things, and if we get rid of the history of that, you could start over new leaf, but what would stop the new generation from not learning from their mistakes?
Give me a persuasion with disadvantage. The outcome isn't going to stop him from what he's doing, but it'll gradually work onto something here. Because right now, I can't remember the emotional or the attitudes off the top of my head. I believe it was friendly, indifferent, and hostile, if memory serves. This person would serve as hostile.
5, but why she just says that question is because it's one of those moments where it's like, if he does act crazy, it's this moment of like, can he answer that? Because I'm giving him the floor to talk.
So let me clarify a couple things that roll did. And again, we're going with degrees of success here. You failed by such a significant margin. I'm going to say future attempts to change his attitude is going to be at a higher DC, and there will be fewer chances given. And to top that off, you see that you see that they're becoming more resistant to ideas that challenge their belief. In fact, you just see their brow scrutinized. You're one to talk. Why would I listen to a single word from a fucking genasi? Your kind is all the same. Monsters acting like humans.
Oh, we just lost Mega.
We
That's
did
fine.
lose Mega, but that's okay.
Yep, keep going.
I've been told that numerous times. Not the first, nor the last, nor I imagine it'll ever go away of things. So what you said, in your eyes, is true, and I can't deny that. Mainly because I've tried to show with my actions, and even if my actions fall on deaf ears before you, I can't change your thoughts. I can tell you, though, so many people have witnessed what I've done. I could tell you that I have repaired and fixed as much as I could. But more importantly, in your eyes, and I know that many people cannot deny this, but my hands, I have not done a single bloodshed here. I only been fixing. So, this monster that you call so-called of me has done nothing but help you, which is why I will not deny what you said. If I am a monster to you, I cannot deny that. I just know that you cannot deny that I've been helping you.
Spits on the
And I
ground
have-
in your direction. You're all fucking talk. All goddamn talk.
I mean, would you rather me talk? Or would you rather me, as I keep always doing, show by action?
What's everyone else doing in this situation? I haven't heard much from Tyler. What are you doing, buddy?
Having an internal battle at the moment, a probably at this point quite literal one, considering that, one half of Gumo literally just tried to cause something like this, and the other half has just been left out in the open with no idea of what just happened for the past, however long this trial has been going.
I'm gonna say with your passive insight, I can at least tell you that the fuse is getting shorter and shorter, and a drastic action is going to happen soon. You see that they're looking at the beads and looking at the councilmen. But again, I still need to emphasize that as they move, you hear that tinking of glass.
I am going to look towards Eddie and kind of raise an eyebrow in a does the deal apply to this situation sort of look. Do I need to protect these people?
We can assume what Mega would have done in that situation. Like, obviously, this is the exception. People are about to be harmed, hurt, killed.
Okay.
There you go. Hang on. Let's let the man speak for himself. You with us, buddy?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
That's fine. But to catch you up, Moomin has been floundering in her conversation and has taken a turn for the worse. They're very resistant to change, and we're talking with Tyler, and he is looking at Eddie. Repeat yourself one more time, Tyler, for your question.
What are the rules of the deal in this situation? Kind of. He's looking at you with a. Do I need to worry about protecting these people? Because I've got no idea what just happened. He looks very confused at you. I didn't think this was how trials went in this city.
Barbarians.
Sorry,
So
that
what
was
would- yeah.
that was directed at Eddie?
Yeah, that was directed at him.
He's looking at you. How do I follow the terms of your deal here? You told me I can't kill innocents. Does leaving them to die count?
Okay, that's the context I needed. I don't think that really. Anyway, so Psycho, we should be trying to protect as many of bystanders as we can.
All right.
But then looking out to the two. What do you hope to accomplish here?
Change. Real change. None of this talkative bullshit. You seen the dredges. You seen how everything works around here. The elite are here to control us. And this talk of equality is here to blind us. And you just see a crazed look in their eyes. It's getting all bug-eyed and twitchy. They're staring at you.
So
Right, can I roll a stealth check to get closer?
After I hear what Eddie says. Go ahead, Megan.
Sorry.
So you're concerned that despite everything that was said today, that nothing will actually change, that nothing will actually get done.
Look at them! Spineless cowards, a lot of them! And again, focus on Solmaris and Meliora. Nothing will change. You are talking to elves, Otter. We are slow to change. Your pretty talk will do nothing. And at this time you may make your stealth check to get closer. But it has to be reasonable, like using obstacles where it breaks line of sight.
Yeah, there's not. Well,
there's
these pillars are. Yeah, okay. Let's go for it.
I was actually going to say, Gray, why don't you move my token to the spot where I think would be the safest? When I was like I said, I was walking towards in between of them, but I don't want to I think there's those subtle cues where they would just stop moving. If you wanted to, you can move my token to where you need to. Just make sure that makes sense.
They'll be hostile towards anything within 10 feet of them.
Okay, so I'll put myself in between.
Yeah, that's the area. Well, that you're putting yourself into the wall. Yep.
No, I'm just trying to put myself there.
Gotcha. Yep. Put yourself in between. Let's see that stealth check, Gumo. All right, move yourself into position.
All right. Okay.
For all intent and nope. Yeah, right there.
Right here. Okay.
For all intents and purposes, you are hidden at this moment.
Got it.
Because you are so close now, give me a perception check.
That I can do, although it won't be probably the best thing in the world. All right, and I'm gonna apply knowledge to a past life for this.
Okay, let's see the roll.
Oh, dang it!
Lucky bastard.
First, you got
No, the DC
chipped.
was 16.
Oh,
So
let's go.
Yeah, you got it right on dot, dude. So as you look, you do see what is causing that tinking. Perhaps it's the animated conversation with a seer, or maybe even Eddie. But you see that with an opening of the cloak during one of the gestures, you see that there are dozens of mason jar glasses that are filled with a strange, bright and colorful liquid underneath the cloak. You don't know what it is, but it's very strange that they're lined up like that, almost like it's a shield, armor.
Hmm.
All right. I haven't heard from Nita in a hot second here. What are you doing?
There are definitely things Aluya would do, but they would not be productive in this situation or for future endeavors with the sea elves. So what I'll do, because I have a way to get to the crowd, the people, fast. So I'm gonna stay in my position and just kind of watch and see where this goes.
Okay. My vet, are you just concentrating on the spell the entire time?
Yep.
Okay. Let's throw the ball back into the court here. Between Megan and Sear, since you're taking the face approach, what are you guys saying or doing? It seems like they are a moment away from doing something very severe.
You're looking in the wrong place.
Okay.
You're so focused on those two people. Have you had a chance to look at everyone else? And I don't mean the council. I mean everyone.
Takes a sweeping glance across the room. Hands are shaking. I must cut the head of the Hydra. I must cut the head of the Hydra. And I need a persuasion
You cut the head
check.
of a Hydra and two more heads grow in its place.
Advantage, disadvantage. Cancel out, straight roll, persuasion. This is going to be one of the most important ones before we start something here. Like I mentioned, the DC is increased because of Seer's previous failure.
I mean, I'm not persuasive, and they very much hate me, so makes sense.
Well, honestly, you should have done a straight roll, but I believe both of them were god awful.
No, my other one would have been fine.
Still 14. That being said, then
Like, as far as I saw, I rolled a 15 on my other one.
yeah,
me
you still
double-check.
get the detriment of increased persuasion checks for normal failure, but I won't reduce the amount of perception checks I have in mind, or persuasion checks I have in mind during this little back and forth. So that's what you have going for you. You probably have more room for failure here. Eddie, persuasion, straight roll. Just to explain that really quick as you're doing it. There's always advantage with doing charisma-based checks with sea elves, but these people are hostile to you. They don't want to talk.
I believe
anything?
I actually still had a D4 that I hadn't used yet.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it a D6?
D6.
No,
it was a D6.
You have a D6.
D6, yep.
And I believe that you got a couple that were specific only with sea elves, so use it or lose it here.
Woo!
Or 25.
I shit you
Nice.
not. Hang on. I shit you not. The DC was 25. You see his hand just shaking. Now, what I will say is the person that you were speaking to is no longer directly hostile. I would say that they're indifferent at this moment towards you. But there's still hatred towards the councilman, but you're causing hesitation. Like, they rely on this radical belief to give them courage, and you are tearing down that wall. One of them is hesitating, and you see that his associate, his partner, is going, "What are you doing? For Minerva! Stand your ground!" What? 2 more heads will grow. And you see his eyes trembling, looking at the councilman. It's flavor, Moo. I am just saying that they have the intent of throwing them.
Oh, I know. I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
since they ripped it off, I totally can
Yeah, it's
handle
not
that
gonna
problem.
explode in their fucking hands. Yep. You're starting
Which one
to.
is
We'll say the
wavering?
one on the far left is the one that Eddie's talking to that's losing their nerve. I'll give him the frightened condition so I can remember. And you know what? That'll be additional benefit, again, for meeting it, is this person is frightened. Alright. Seems like Eddie is tearing down the walls here. Moo. What are you doing here? It looks like Eddie is starting to pave a path here, but again, it just takes one bad move, one failure, one thing to trigger these people before, like, people start to die.
Problem is, I'm not very persuasive. That's the big problem. I'm very aware of my weaknesses. So I'm using my words to hold the ground, but I'm not going to be able to persuade them in a way of roles. It's just really with the logic situation of things. With that said, though, here's what I will do, and I think this would be the best benefit for the group. Whilst Eddie keeps chatting with them because he's affecting them. I think Seer needs to figure out essentially how to fully disarm the threat in a situation, because it's one of those situations where it's like, let Eddie, like, the whole point what Seer was doing is letting them keep talking. That's how you make them not do something crazy. So essentially Seer now, with Eddie just popping in, is going to assess the threat essentially upon them and then see if there's additional people
Oh my God.
them, because there's the problem. Huh?
Okay.
What about God?
Alright. So, what we're going to do here is you're looking for additional threats. I need an investigation. Looking around at the crowd, seeing if there's any other people that might cause danger here.
That's the main thing. It's honestly, it's as I'm about to roll this, but Eddie can keep kind of doing the chatting, and the whole idea is that Seer is going to really make sure, okay, if it's these two, what are the other things that I'm quickly analyzing? Normal roll, right?
Correct, Mundo. You look around the crowd, and you do see guards holding bow and arrow. It's fully drawn. Their arms are getting a bit stiff for how long they've been holding them up, but they've been trained at these people, and it looks like they're ready to fire. And something about that just doesn't sit well with you, doesn't sit right. You have a empty pit in your stomach, like if these people don't do something radical and crazy, that the guards will take care of the threat.
Or they'll try.
Well, they're gonna. I think Gumo is like in a perfect spot. I don't see Gumo, but like if things go like that, it means then I know what I'm doing to be able to assist on that. So what that means.
Yeah, the guards are relying on instinct here. No one has taken command of them, and they're ready to fire before these people make another move.
I'm not going to prepare a spell, but I will do. The main issue is that if I prepare a spell, I'll lose it because you can't just do it, and that would be a bad situation at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I will do a hold action.
Yeah.
So if Gumo's on the guy on the left, I will have a hold action for the guy on the right. I will type it to you, Gray.
Okay.
That's where we're getting in tricky dicky territory because we're not in initiative here.
No, you're right.
But
the reason why I mention it, I'm not saying it's like an initiative thing. I'm going to type to you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just I want to really stress out here that when we do like hold actions before like initiative or rolls, then we're essentially creating like a new round or like a surprise round, and that can get into the territory of everyone just saying I'm gonna hold my action for an attack.
You're right. I'm not doing an attack though. Why I'm saying hold action in this case is because if scenario A happens, so in this case, if a guy shoots the arrow, for any reason of something, Seer does something.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go with it here. All right. Anyone else in the party?
You said there are some guards near me?
Let's say they're peppered through each one of the large tokens. I would say that there are more likely 8 guards. That seems like a reasonable number to maintain a crowd while maintaining security in Frostheart. Because I don't believe like 8 is too excessive while being too small.
Okay. I'd ask to hold an action, but I'd just be pairing a spell to kill anyone that tries anything. So I'll hold off on saying anything like that for now and wait to see how this plays out a bit longer.
Yeah, and just like before, we're going to treat this as mob rules, meaning like if they intend to hit somebody, one of them is going to hit. All right. We heard from Guma. We heard from Moo. What is everyone else in the party thinking at this moment? Because we got guards like pointing like arrows at these people ready to shoot off. We have the terrorists ready to lug some of these beads. One of them is hesitant. The other one is gun-ho. What do you guys do?
It's as I said. If you cut the head of a hydra, 2 more grow in its place. So the solution, of course, is to not fight a hydra. Change the nature of the beast entirely. And you know how we might do that?
How?
It's It's like Eddie is going to look over to, like, actually, how do the council members look at this moment?
You see Corvallis standing tall and proud, chin up, looking down at everything that's happening. Again, crossed arms. Perhaps even no, they wouldn't be armed. But just crossed armed, looking at all of this playing out. Solmaris is using like his throne as cover, and Meliora is just holding her staff close to her chest. Islith, again, is also cool and collective at this moment, watching each word play out.
Shoot, I'm missing more, aren't I? Fucking hell.
Is there anything more you wanted to add there before I call for a roll?
I wonder if Mega is talking at the moment. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, I actually missed all of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. So I said that Corvallis is standing proud, chin up, arms crossed, looking at you and the terrorists. Solmaris is cowering behind a throne, using it as a shield. Meliora is holding a wooden staff, clenching it with the tremble close to her heart, and Islith is sitting down, just watching with closed eyes and a held breath. Squinting eyes, I should say.
It's like, how would you feel about this solution if you're concerned about the heads of the beast? Then what if they were replaced instead?
You see a open sneer. Minorities always outvoted. The nobles have true control over us. What difference does it make? It's just new heads. It's not our vote. It is not the vote of the people. It is the vote of the privileged.
Which is why a new election will be held and every citizen shall vote. And he'll look over every single one. Majority rules.
That's really good. I like that. All right. I have a DC in mind. It is high. If you succeed this, we stop here. You will have dismantled the situation and the tension. Should you fail, we're going to roll for initiative. If there's any spells or things that can be used as buffs or any assistance that your allies want to do, speak now or forever hold your breath.
Well, actually, as like maybe an interesting part here, like, and again, possibly to make the roll easier,
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it would be like to instill confidence, i.e., reducing the DC.
Mm.
It's like Eddie will look over. It's like all we have to do, and there are plenty of witnesses. In fact, everyone in all of Frostheart can hear us right now, as you already know.
Right now, no. Camera zooming out, and we just see all the citizens looking upwards towards the tower at the center of Frostheart. And everyone has stopped what they're doing. People who are rebuilding houses have put down tools. Mothers with their babies are holding them close in their hands. Everyone is waiting with bated breath as people have been listening to this radical event that has taken place. Camera zooms back into Eddie.
Here and now, if the members of council truly care for the will of Frostheart, they shall hold a vote in this moment. And this vote will be for their own resignations, dissolving the council as it is and opening a democratic election.
Corvus stares amongst the council. Islith, again, head tilted towards Corvus. You see Solmaris like gripping the back of the chair until like his fingers begin to bleed. Meliora, you just see her eyes twitching, looking around, and you see that there is a clear division of intent here. Corvus looks around, sees the terrace, looks at you, Eddie, and I will say you've made a rapport with the man. No need for a check. He's friendly to you. And if the party remembers what friendly means that they will do anything within reason to help a friend. You see him nod and vocalize it by saying, "Then it is vote." And he will announce, "In these current circumstances, we will hold a immediate vote for our resignation. I, Corvus, agree." He looks towards Islith, and she nods, just saying, "Human life is valuable. If it just means to step down from a position to save the lives of people in this room, then so be it." Meliora is a bit more combative. "What will we do to fix this town if we are not in this position? People will go cold. People will die. Our buildings, they will not be fixed." And Solmaris gets behind on that bandwagon, just saying, There is so much to do. We have no time for these silly games. The terrorists, we shouldn't listen to their demands."
If you believe in the citizens of Frostheart, they will take up their tools, they will take up their voices, and they too can get the job done.
Okay.
And you
Yep,
could serve
go ahead.
as the guiding hand.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Gray.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So, this seems like it's de-escalating pretty fast. One half of Gumo doesn't like that at all. I'd like to make a wisdom saving throw to make sure he doesn't come out. Because if he does, and Eddie makes that persuasion check, he's probably going to cast Silvery Barbs.
So,
Oh no.
well, I'm going to redirect this because the way that Mega's approaching this is no longer, although he did, extend an olive branch to the terrace, he redirected the persuasion towards the council members.
Towards the council.
Yep, and that will reduce the DC. It will still be a high check, but if you do this, Eddie, there will be a dramatic shift with the society, and you feel as though this encounter will end. I need
So really,
I need a
go ahead.
persuasion check that will affect Meliora and Solmaris.
Okay, so it's no longer towards the terrorists.
Yeah. Because so long as he convinces one of them, it's majority vote.
And then the terrorists will probably stand down because nothing to...
Yeah, Corvus, Islith, they both put in their votes. Meliora and Solmaris have not given a vote yet, but it's very clear where their heads are at. They're trying to find the easiest exit to gracefully keep their position while maintaining the high ground. But a persuasion check from Eddie, and if anyone has anything to add to it, now's the time to speak.
I have nothing to add without giving away my position or having to make a wisdom check or wisdom saving throw.
I mean, in my case, I can't really do anything, and unless like it's a bad roll, like with an inspiration. But I'm out of Flash of Geniuses.
Okay. All right, let's see it. Be straight roll.
Oh my god.
Inspiration.
No. Hang on. I was just about to retract that and say advantage, and that is not because I saw the result of your roll. It's because I remembered the reason why I was causing disadvantage is because the people you're talking to were hostile. You're talking to the council members now, and at most, like, they're indifferent, although one of them has a grudge against you, but I wouldn't say they're per se hostile. You may roll one
I didn't
more
even
time.
see my own roll.
You rolled a natural one.
Oh.
Just roll
That's why
D20.
I was screaming.
Yeah.
That's why I was screaming inspiration.
The hell of a thing. Because that's an overall +9 to the roll. Oh, not +9, +11.
Where's the... Sorry, I had to...
Oh, this is bad.
Yep.
Alright,
How you feeling, Moo?
I feel great in this moment, but I feel like things can go really
that's
bad.
much better.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Jesus. The DC was 20. You succeed. You really, really succeed.
That nat 1 was over halfway to succeeding. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually, since it's 5 or more over, it's
Yeah.
they both graciously.
That's what I'm gonna say is Solmaris was going to be the one to like really stick it out, even if you succeeded. But since you rolled so fucking high, let me hear this represented after they both gave their statements about trying to keep their chairs.
It's like again, like Eddie, like, and maybe it just sounds like a good show, be comfortable with showing his back to the terrorists. It's like imploring upon them. It's like I don't disagree that movements can have leaders, but every leader eventually must trust in those who follow them to take up their work, even when they're no longer there. If you truly believe in the cause, if you truly believe in making Frostheart a better place, then let the citizens take the charge.
You see Meliora. She's stammering. But I, God damn it, I agree. And Solmaris, he's practically frosting at the mouth, and he has a 1,000-yard stare. And Eddie, the silence is deafening. You can hear a pin drop. He doesn't talk for 3 minutes, and you just see like the terrace. They're getting a little itchy, just ready to throw these beads at the councilman. You see that the guards, like some of them, are just slowly losing tension off their arrows and rolling their shoulders, trying to relax their muscles from being so stiff. And you see Solmaris, he's just looking away. Do you say anything to snap them out of it?
Please, Solmaris. What would he think?
And you do see that, like, from the fireball, at the very start, that the ceiling got scorched, and there's a light pitter-patter of rain in the interior here. And you see him looking up and just say, "It's mighty fine for rain today." And you see him closing his eyes as he repeats the word, "Rain." He looks at you. "I resign." And looking towards the rest, nodding, "I agree." Corvus says, "By unanimous vote, all the councilmen have resigned." And he gives a smile towards you, Eddie, then towards the terrace.
Eddie will smile and nod, then turning himself back toward them. And so, without a single blade, without a single head being lost, the beast is slain.
Zooms out towards old Frostheart, and we hear distant cheering. And I feel like that is a damn good way to end that scene. I know that there's a lot of ifs, ands, buts, what's going to happen, the voting. Let's not focus on that for the moment. You did something extraordinary. The terrorists are disarmed of the fireball necklaces. The door is unblocked, and people begin to shuffle out. I will say on top of that, that I do want to make the party aware of, the terrorists were stripped of those glass bottles underneath their cloak. And for your knowledge, should anyone cause damage to the elves, half of the damage would be redirected to those bottles, and effectively you would have a suicide bomber. So you guys did good by not attacking it. I was waiting because it would have been very, very, very bad. There were 16 dice. But yeah, let's move a bit forward.
Excuse me a minute while I just change my character's name to Edward H. Christ.
It's Eddie of Nazareth. All right. So let's have a montage here, because we're not going to be going through all of the details here. I will make a couple rolls in the background to see how this scene resolves, but while I'm doing that, let's go one by one. Aluya, you told me you had something you wanted to do tonight. Is that correct?
No, just that I was going to be alone because I'm hurt.
Okay. Well, give us a bit of a scene here. Doesn't have to be too long, but explain Aluya's inner turmoil, where she finds herself. Like, give us the details.
I know Seer's looking to have a conversation, but she really doesn't want to.
What are you
And,
doing, Eddie?
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, I know, I'm
Keep
joking.
going.
I mean, the better question I would ask for Aluya in this case is, would you try everything you can to avoid the shit out of Seer? Or would it be a situation where you would just, if Seer finds you, you just kind of like leave it as it is situation? That's my question.
She doesn't want to talk to anybody. So if you come and find her, she'll either politely tell you not now or hit the bricks. But she'll make sure that everything is cool. And then she'll just kind of mosey on out if no one, like the guards or anything, don't stop her. Just to kind of walk away.
You mean out?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
possible.
It's a bit hard. If you remember, the docks were raised and all their boats were sunken during the siege. But if it's just you and by yourself and you're not planning to go on long travel, you may find remnants of a boat to go across the small lake, I would call it. Yeah, the small lake, and go down the aqueduct. You're going through a hole made by pyreworms.
I'm good with that.
Okay. Yeah, let's continue a little bit further here. Like, you exit the water duct, you do see the small island that you and the party first came out of when you first came to Frostheart. You have memories of talking to the sculpture of Quagmire and the whale. Ebby, I believe what the name was. And you see a
Okay,
flash.
Abby,
Yeah.
we'll avenge you.
You see the memory of the harpoon, the gigantic harpoon that impaled it through its side, and you still see dried blood of the streak marks of it being dragged up the wall to the surface, to Boreas. And you remember that warning, that he does not want to see you on his territory. Should you ever go to the surface, you will find conflict with him.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
I'm not going up to the surface.
Yeah, but it's just something to keep in mind, and maybe even might question how, like, those centaurs even survive on the surface, especially with their particular coat pattern of looking like a giraffe. It sticks out in this environment, this tundra. But that's neither here nor there. You're aimlessly using your oar and pushing yourself forward on the blackened waters under a blue night light. And I would even say further, because you are getting out of the surface, you're starting to hear something weird. Boom, 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 just a series of crackling sounds. And you look up at the serpent, Nahash, the flying leviathan, and you see streaks of red that keep hitting its body. And it's not even just one segment. It's a shower, but it just seems to all hit him. and you just hear groaning and moaning. It's an earth-shattering moan.
This Leviathan is being attacked? Can I
Appears so.
insight it?
Insight it?
I don't know. Is it a happy moan? Maybe he enjoys it.
Masochistic Leviathan.
I usually follow a creed, that I'm not going to make you roll if there's no chance of failure. And I would hope that Nita, like Aluya, would be able to recognize an animal getting hurt. It seems like a coordinated attack, or at least a weird phenomenon that is occurring onto the Leviathan. But what's the best way of putting this? It feels like an ill omen, and you feel a pit in the bottom of your stomach as you stare at this creature being hurt by this.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, keep in mind, symbolism towards this creature is in all cultures. Like, they have some reference to the serpent. Much like how every creation myth for our, the religions that we have on Earth usually include some form of the Great Flood. In our world here, there's always some story involving a serpent, because it's a clear thing that everyone has an opinion on, or some culture around it. Some people deify it like it is an angel or a guardian. Other people demonize it, saying it is a devil. In your case, I wouldn't say that the teaching of your god would have too much strength behind it. Perhaps there's a tale or two where Nahash, the name of this creature, Nahash, led sailors back to their home, perhaps, or even using it as a landmark. I would even go so far to say as perhaps sailors studied its position in the sky and noticed a pattern, and can tell directions based off its position in the sky.
The serpent's name is Nahash?
Yep, Nahash. I'll give you the proper spelling later. I'm not going to dig it up right now.
I'm just going to guess for right now and write my question marks like usual.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's nothing crazy. I believe it's a Hebrew for a serpent. So if you find the Hebrew version of it, you should be able to get the proper spelling.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my favorite stuff, is when people call something very simple, like a desert, or lake.
I would also like to make a check once they're done.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Aluya, I've been using your character as a piece here to describe the background of the world at the moment. Where does Aluya find herself after she keeps running and running away?
Just being out in the water and not even finding peace out there, because now she has to tell someone about what she heard and saw. Eventually,
Yeah.
she'll just go back to the if it's still up and functioning, the inn that we were at.
Yeah, you could go there. Well, I don't think you guys ever made it to the inn. I believe that was did you?
Mm-hmm. Because Seer and I had a room.
What particular session? Because I remember you guys entered the city. You talked to Nereus. He gave you boarding in his own manner. The next day, you all were in that slum house in the dredges, and it's today, so I'm not sure when you guys had a room. I don't believe you guys ever made it to the inn. I know you got the name of it, but you just got distracted by a assassination attempt.
It's a lot of stuff. You gotta give me more.
Yeah, I know. Now I think about it, I'm hearing the music now, and it's like, there's nothing suspenseful here. A little too much tension. Too much tension. Tension's over. But nevertheless, even as you look at it, you can go to the end. Like, it wasn't destroyed. You guys kept a lot of the chaos within the heart, and although it is in the heart district, it is further north, away from all the combat that happened. It appears to be untouched. So you make a lap around. Do you just try to make a lap around Frostheart, like the entire glacier?
No, because it would just take me too goddamn long. And
oh yeah, it would. It is huge. It's fucking huge.
I want to be out here alone, but damn, my arms are so tired.
I will say, after an hour, you do gain a level of exhaustion, as it is super fucking cold out. I mean,
Okay.
well, hang on. Let me double check here, because I know the effect, but I'm not sure if I'm quoting the rule properly for severe cold. What the fuck is it called?
It should be under something like extreme weather.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to remember the wording here. Yeah, extreme cold. Close enough. Hazards. That's the key word I gotta remember next time. You don't have resistance or immunity to cold damage, do you?
No, but don't I make a save for it?
Yes, you do. Make me a Constitution saving throw. That's what I was looking for, because I couldn't remember DC off the top of my head. If you fail, you'll gain a level of exhaustion.
Oh my gosh, my computer did the thing again. Okay, we're back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You said Constitution?
Yeah. So let me break this down. Like, as you're out on the open, like water, there is icebergs and chunks of ice that are buffeting the wind. You succeed. It's DC 10. But this is a way of me communicating, because there are so many obstacles in the way blocking the wind. You feel as though like you'd have to make this check every hour, but the higher you go, the less resistance the wind has, and the colder it'll get. So again, if you were exploring, say, on the surface, you feel like the trigger for this saving throw would be more frequent.
Okay.
But you do not get exhausted, but your hands start to get cold. Perhaps you even breathe into them. And also remember that as you breathe into them, your breath never ends. So perhaps it goes on for a couple minutes before you stop yourself.
Start making breath animals.
That's pretty
breath
cool.
rings.
But yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything to truly interact with out here unless you have a scene in mind.
Just alone. Alone.
Yeah, you're alone. Yeah, perhaps we'll end the scene here again with your intent to go to the end, with you holding an oar, staring up at the sky, and seeing the reflection of the moon. Who else would like to speak? I believe Mavet said you had a check you wanted to make, or a particular scene that you had in mind.
No, I just wanted to make a check on information about Nahash.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Like,
So because I have a origin that was revealed to be along the lines of how creation was, and Nahash has that similarity, I would argue to make a religion check to see if it has anything to do with my origin.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fair to say. Like I said, every mythos has a rendition of it, so yeah. And your intent to see the similarity between your own creation and the creation myths that are around Nahash, or let me hear your exact intention.
Connections.
Any connection.
So not similarities, more like a connection. Like maybe they're all actually linked, not just based off a theory. If they're like linked physically somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make me a religion check.
Yeah, that's it.
Give me an investigation check. That's 9 for the audience for the previous check, and 15. So as you begin to try to think about Nahash, you gradually learn that, again, you've not done any critical studying on this creature. And you find yourself within the heart of the city. And as you are within the heart, we see you at a ruined library. Again, it suffered from some damages during the siege. As you look, you do see a funny-looking book with a serpent on it. And, Mavet, I'm going to gift you a book. Now, I'm curious, Mavet, have you taken a good look at what adventuring gear does nowadays?
No, I have not.
Well, your gear is actually more useful nowadays. And one of the things I discovered is the item for a book can actually help you on checks related to its topic. So I'm going to read this to you verbatim here. A book contains fiction or nonfiction. If you consult an accurate nonfiction book about its topic, you gain a +5 to intelligence, arcana, history, nature, or religion checks you make about that topic. I'm going to say that you have a book about Nahash. And should you want to make another check in the future, you can add a +5 to that roll. Give me 1 second. Quickly make this item that I had prepared. Okay. It's in your inventory.
Nice.
And I will adjust the wording to reflect exactly what I just said. There you go. Okay. Is there anything else? Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that's it.
1 second. Let me throw the ball in the court. Who wants to go next?
I could probably get mine out of the way. Hello? Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, shoot.
All right,
you're
I hope
good.
we can.
I can hear you.
Yeah, no, go
Oh,
right
okay.
ahead. Sorry, I was taking care of my dog, and I was hoping you'd buy me some time.
No, I had no time to buy you.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
You gotta
Go with
pay
the
me
scene.
for time. You gotta pay me for time.
Okay, what do you want to do? What's the scene that you have in mind? Go right ahead.
I'm thinking that as kind of everything is winding down from the trial, as
Yep.
I presume at some point some members of the party notice, probably as they're leaving, that Gumo hasn't joined them. And when they turn around, they go inside and check. They find him still behind that pillar, but there's two energies, it looks like, kind of smashing into each other over his body.
Do they? Because you hid yourself really fucking well.
I mean, yeah, actually do that. Do any of them bother to go
was
back
that,
and check?
Was that, well, hang on, was that a stealth 19?
That was a stealth 20.
20? You beat everyone's passive. I believe. Let me double check my bet.
Yeah, he beats mine.
Yep. The highest is 19 in the party.
None of them may go back and check, or at least not find him, but Gumo is behind the pillar. And there are energies, it looks like, clashing over him. One that kind of spectral blue that has shown up constantly, the other a sickly green, and should anyone or anything find him, they see his hand, his right hand, broken with a finger pointing at where Eddie once stood during the trial. And it looks like he's not going to be moving for a very long time.
Yeah, the camera zooms out as you are alone in darkness. Perhaps the camera lingers, because, again, voting needs to happen. And as the voting happens, I can actually tell you what I rolled here. And I shit you not, I gave different ranges for the public's perception on each candidate. With Corvus kept his chair. Islith kept her chair. Nereus kept his chair. And I'm not fucking with you. The other two, although they did actually have a chance of winning, both failed on this percentile die that I rolled. So there are 2 open seats, and they're going to be looking for people in the community to replace them. And again, that's up in the air. You see that they're taking a majority vote here, and going over potential candidates that the group, the community as a whole, select.
So which 2 didn't retain their seats?
Solmaris and Meliora. So both the troublemakers. That wasn't a narrative decision. It was purely by dice roll.
So the crush, the old
fairness,
man, and the merchant lady, right?
Yeah, the merchant lady who's in charge of infrastructure and development, and the man was in charge of the merchants and commerce. The lady was in charge of urban development. So those 2 chairs are open. You're saying, Mega?
I was saying that, that's just kind of, it's like it being the 2 holdouts. It probably in universe probably didn't look good.
No.
How long they took to come to their decision.
Again, I want to harken it back because I always think about it as the first episode of Full Metal Alchemist, where the fucking priest is really talking shit about his followers. Then he just learns, "I'm being recorded!" Yeah. Yeah, a voting process is held, and 2 individuals are picked and take their place. Their identities and what they look like will be fleshed out in the future here. Keep it open. Keep it open until something really nestles with me. Let's talk about the other 2. I assume Eddie and Seer watch as the voting happens, and once it ends, people begin to file out. Towards you, Eddie, you do see amongst the people walking out is Meliora. But staying behind, you do see Solmaris sitting in his chair, slouching. Hands templed on his stomach and his head dipped downward, staring at the floor.
Eddie probably knows what happened, but he's going to cautiously go up to him and without a look under the hood.
And again, you see You see Solmaris. Like he's just taking his time on the throne before he has to leave it for the final time. You see that you've destroyed his world. You've destroyed his reputation today. And he doesn't know what to do. You have a broken man in front of you staring at the floor. Doesn't look you in the eyes, only stares at your feet.
So I think Eddie will perhaps take. I'm not sure how high the table is, but maybe just lean more on that.
Yep.
So, rather than properly sit down.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you and I are never going to be friends.
His eyes are trembling, staring at the floor, wide open, bug-eyed. Still staring at the floor.
So for you, you lost a son. For me, I lost someone that I loved dearly.
It wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. I was just tired of your family. I truly despise you, Eddie. Even more so, I despise your family. But I did not mean for anything to happen, and I did not want to lose my boy. He just heard me saying one too many times about how much I hated you. Royal, you, NT, shakes his head. If I would have known, if I was just a better father, I would have seen the signs. The way he handles a knife, the blood on his hands. And again, 1,000 yards stare at the ground, like he's not even looking at you, and again it is still drizzling with rain. There's pitter-patter all around you.
Well, I can easily say that looking back now, knowing, remembering what I do now, I think there's a lot about my family that I could say I don't really like either. Even less myself. But I guess if I let myself drown in everything that came before me, then I'll never resurface.
That is it. That right there. That is what I hate about you and your father. That goddamn charm. And you see that he's just disgusted. Perseverance. No wall is insurmountable, so long as you have the bodies to walk on to get over it. And you see that that's more of a response to your father's business rather than your own. Let me ask you this, Otter. And his eyes finally raise up. How will you climb the wall?
Well, if there's a wall I can't climb, I'm sure my friends at the top will lend a hand. And we'll climb it together.
You guys share a stare. It goes on for a couple minutes, then he breaks the silence by saying, Mr. Hayes. And he puts emphasis on your last name. Should you find yourself at the top of the wall, should you find yourself at the head of your family, I would listen to talks about commerce. I may not be in charge of my district or city anymore, but I can still pull a few strings. You see him slowly get up, walk around the table. With his back to you, you see him stepping on a little bit of water, splashing his feet as he makes his way out. Is there any one-liner or any expression we see on Eddie's face before we cut the scene here?
It's like, I think what would be appropriate, at least in Eddie's mind, is to let the silence be what it is, but perhaps a small upturned smile in his direction, even though he can't see it. But I can almost imagine he can feel it.
Okay. Camera pivots towards Seer. What is Seer doing in town today, or after the voting and trial?
I mean, the issue in my case of things is very much that, well, they did want questions answered in some way. However, and I'll even give Aluya this in the situation, is that Aluya made themselves essentially disappear from the situation. So there's no way for Seer to even be able to talk with them at the moment, right?
Disappeared. Well, keep in mind, Seer is smarter than all of us. A very smart individual. You know that Aluya needs to sleep.
I am aware. I am very aware of things.
You
Of
also
that.
know she's cheap.
Mhm.
She's cheap.
Damn.
She's poor. There's a difference.
I'm not sure if 32 gold is poor.
We're both poor together. Anyway. The main thing is probably if and I'm gonna say it's above table just to make sure. Aluya's intentions is And I'm saying this is a thing. So, like, you're just avoiding Seer altogether as much as you can, correct?
Yeah.
But would they turn Seer away if Seer went out of the way to find them eventually? Like, think of like if you went out of the effort to kind of like make your presence disappear and they found you, would they still continue?
They wouldn't be like, they wouldn't want to talk about what you want to talk about, but she's not going to be like, you need to get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine with me. And more importantly, I'm okay with Aaliyah not talking at the moment because we'll play it off in this way. So if that's true, I think Seer would like try their best to try to go back into things, but now it's the situation of, well, maybe they would actually ask this question straight to Eddie, because since Eddie revealed the cards, essentially, they would ask them questions first, and then try to see if they could seek Aaliyah. It might take a bit. Seer really can't focus. That's the best way I could explain it. Seer is in this rare state of like, my brain hurts. So maybe with Eddie's case, she would be like, I have questions for you, Eddie. And I don't know if you are free to speak of it. I don't know if you are able to speak of it. But it feels like there was a moment when we were having the discussion in that little trial of things that startled me in some way, as well as I think enraged Luya. It was related with the mum situation I had no clue of. Can you shed some light for that for me?
I can tell you as much as I'm allowed to.
But
You already said everything.
he's keeping his
Like-
vow.
He's keeping his vow. I then will ask specific questions, just to re-clarify. So, you did say correctly that Aluya's motivations for the attack were because I was attacked, aka Mum was attacked as impersonating as I, correct?
You didn't mishear in court.
Then when you said, well, I'll even change it in this way, Eddie, what's your personal opinion of our situation with me and Aluya? Since you did mention about their motivations of things.
Speak louder, Mega. No need to repeat.
Oh wait, did I not?
No.
I hadn't said anything yet.
No. I was waiting for Moo to finish because I didn't want to be too intrusive. I'm just saying, speak louder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
My opinion on your two's situation?
Correct. If you wish, you could do it on my perspective of things, because I won't lie. While I am savvy with my mind and I think I read myself well, I am not, how would I say, great with my words, and also as dull as my surroundings.
Do you remember what I told you before we met with the council about you being blind to things that you didn't quite understand?
That is why I bring it back up, because it seems what you presented before in that court showed how blind I was.
I mean, I'm gonna be frank with you, Seer. Everyone can see it.
I try to make it not as obvious of things, but I'm also very much not someone that treads on people's toes. Hence why I will suggest ideas that might go against the curve of what I actually like of things. Because I'm a peacekeeper.
Sierra, I know this is difficult for you to do, but take it from somebody who has to constantly navigate between both of these states. Your brain is always on. Have you tried turning it off and listening to something else?
No. However, as like you kind of will see Seer like not as being stiffed as they kind of look, because you already know that Seer very much has like had things cracking, so it's now she's less hidden of things. There was one moment that I don't think Aluya or maybe people would recognize, but there are moments where I don't think with Aluya, I just act. Like when we play around a bit of things. I think about that moment and I realize that wasn't really me being wordplay, that was me having fun. I think about moments back then too with, well, when we had to disguise ourselves, me as a clown, them as, well, essentially a showgirl of some things. And I didn't really think of it. I just enjoyed the moment of just us being silly. I am not dumb to my emotions. I am just poor with managing them. You understand. And more importantly, I was born in a world that hates you. There was not much time to experience something like this, and yet, for me, it feels so familiar. So, I would describe as enchanting in some way. So I know, maybe in a past life of mine, I've experienced something like this. I just avoided to letting it go out open. And yet, there were moments it just shined, at least with Aluya. Maybe it shined more based off what you described, correct?
Like I said, it was obvious, and it's only getting increasingly more obvious with time.
Okay.
It might.
I have so much fan fiction of you two.
Then, oh, go ahead. I was about to
How
say,
does the scene end here, and where is Moo going to go?
Actually,
Okay.
I think maybe Eddie has a potentially interesting note here.
Okay.
Regardless of how you feel about the situation, the fact of the matter is that it's there. And I think it's reached a point where you have to make a decision. But I will go ahead and tell you that speaking as someone who dated a guy for months, even though knowing from day one that he was trying to kill me, I still had a lot of fun. And I don't regret the time that I spent with him.
you are a mind reader in some ways, and you really should be paid more for that. For I think you understood my stance then on what she done then. which is very observant of you. Which is why I need to find them and talk with them. Excuse me, then.
Okay. How do you
Rooting
find
for
them?
ya.
How do you find them?
Well, the beautiful thing that Aluya forgot about, I did give Spanky to them.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying Aluya took Spanky with them the entire time?
I mean, Spanky is a mechanical creature. They could just sneak into the bag and just turn off for a moment and not really stir around. They're not an animal that needs to breathe. They don't need to be curious. They're
like
very
to-
much an extension of Seer.
I
Yeah.
like to think it's been sitting on my shoulder the entire time, but I'm so used to the feel of
Yeah.
it. It's just like whatever.
Yeah, not there. Yeah, so let's intersect here. I would have said the only way to find her is by waiting at the end, but we can say that you're waiting at the docks for her, if that's the case.
I'll let Aluya pick.
Oh, sure. You can meet me at the docks and see my frustration. But damn it, it's cold and I couldn't find a piece. There's like weird shit going on in the sky. I don't know what's happening to that snake. Who is that? Is that Seer?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard to miss when it looks like. I just wanted to imagine Aluya's like, wow, that's a really bright torch.
Yeah, like you see a burnt dock, like burnt wood, ashen, like buildings and soot covering everywhere. In this darkness, in this black, you just see that lone flame flickering for you at the docks. And at that moment, you probably hear Spanky activate here. Zzz, zzz.
Yes. What if I dimension door away? Then I could get her. Far away. I'll leave the bird. No, that would be rude. She already saw me. Okay.
What's worse, what's hilarious, is that Spanky is also like connected to the shell phone. So as they're talking, I imagine like if Eddie was like, "Hey," Esther would be like, "Can I borrow this for a second?"
Hmm.
That literally, as she's just murmuring to herself, Sierra's
Yeah.
just like sitting there with the shell phone, being like, just listening to Aluya mumbling
Yeah.
until
And
eventually
hear
she
her
just gets
soft
close enough.
voice coming out of the shell. And maybe she's even muttering, like, Luya, I don't want to take control of your character, but I assume you keep that up until you get really close and you can hear your own voice echoing.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I said hello first.
I said hello first.
Stop messing with me. I've had enough today.
The louder you get, the closer it gets to feedback of static as it...
Ah!
Eventually, Sierra will
Yeah.
just put away the shell phone.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a beautiful scene. Like, the rowboat gently goes across the water. You guys are in darkness. Seer is the only form of light at the moment. And it's like you two are in your own spotlight.
Hello, Seer. What brings you to my quiet time?
Me rudely interrupting your quiet time, unfortunately, and I do
I mean-
apologize for that.
I wouldn't say rudely, but there is things that were happening that was rude. Well, not rude per se. It was just a lot of banging, and well, you know what happened. The serpent is being attacked up there.
At this moment, we could handle that after I get to say what I want to say, for I'm still very upset by the fact that I was silenced.
I mean, you could say what you want to say. I am done talking about things.
That is all right. You don't need to talk You don't need to respond. You don't need to look at me. But I will say what I need to say.
Do you, sir? I'm going to the inn.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well follow and just serve as the talking piece then.
I will not stop you.
Nor will I stop you.
Yeah. And just keep in the back of your head, so as you walk down the streets, there's not a single torch lit. And that spotlight is following you guys in this pure darkness.
I will say the negative things first. And I say this just because my principles stand proud. What I stand for holds proud. When I joined the group of things as we traveled, as we journeyed, you already know my stances of violence. You already know my stances of the innocent. You even know this because you helped me in our very first encounter of things rescue a child. I've also seen the negative brashness of what you've done. I've seen you work yourself into a spot where not the wisest decisions have been made. And I would say this is one of them, with the unfortunate deaths of many. And I say this is because when I heard this, I very much was so broken, so taken aback by it, that if this was the real you, doing things for no reason, without purpose, just taking the quick approach of things to eliminate a threat so casually, so barbarically, I was gonna essentially mark you as similar to someone I met before. We wouldn't be friends or allies. We very much would just be acquaintances where I very much would treat you cold. And yet, when I thought of that, I have encountered something I did not deal with for a very long time. Denial, grief, bargaining, anger. And I still didn't feel that peace of acceptance. It felt wrong. It felt like something that was very much out of your character. And I couldn't wrap my head around it, especially with the half-ass answer you given me. Which is why, in that moment when Eddie revealed the aspects that I did not know, such as Mum being in the middle of things, I felt that acceptance out of nowhere, a relief, a wave of the sudden understanding. I understood a motivation you had when it wasn't just you defending yourself or others, but you were specifically defending I. You were defending me based off an attack. And I've seen this before when we encountered the dragon. I've seen this before when we fought against numerous creatures of the undeath. Every step, every time we've encountered a danger, you are always on the side of mine. And I was grateful for that, for I don't have your capabilities. I also don't have the escape that you can provide for me. You very much have been always on my side in the silliest and the funniest of ways. And the sad reality is that we've only been traveling for so long. And yet, despite that horrifying event being told in my head of what you did to those poor people, when I heard the motivation, when I heard that you saw I being injured, it made sense. It clicked. And it brought me relief, which is what made me now question my decisions in the past, Aluya. But I will explain myself, and I will let you decide what you need. For you also are suffering some way. I have no clue what Eddie and you have planned. I had no clue what Eddie and you have talked about. But I know something happened between the two of you. And if it's involved with me, I do apologize if I brought you the suffering. But what I can say, what I can reveal, in the distance where you hide yourself in the inn, or as we walk, is that my mind flashed to our small interactions, my teasing, us quips, other things that we just talked. And when I think of you in those moments, I like to think of it as a torch that grows brighter. Where I'm usually smoldering, I bloom in a blaze in some way. And I say this is just because it is moments where I let people's decisions, their choices, but sometimes my logic take over. Like letting Mom have a choice and then saying, for the safety of yourself, might as well do as they say. What's the harm? I regret that a bit, since you did make a face that I didn't understand till this moment. I could think about other moments where I always put you above in your decisions of things. If you wanted to look at something, I let you, and I stayed silent. I didn't want to rock the boat. However, based on what Eddie described, I just never let my brain turn off.
You are
So,
getting
go ahead,
blocks
bud.
away from the inn. It is within sight.
Seer will stop at a point because essentially she wants to make sure Aluya is just getting somewhere safe.
Mhm.
So Aluya would notice the torchlight slowly dim as they are noticing that Seer has stopped in place, as she just finally will say a few more things.
Mhm.
So you don't have to respond to what I would say, but I am going to turn off my brain for the moment of things. I, in my short life of living as who I am, burning genocide of things, there has not been a single person in my travels of my existence of this moment that has been able to make me express myself in a way that is with my nature. As you know, I very much don't express myself. I don't share my thoughts. I don't let my heart pour. And yet you always know how to light it up, stir the flames, bring air to it, even when I contain it greatly. And even at this moment when you walk away and you travel too far, even though I am so mad at the actions you've done, I can't help but let my heart stir more with the flames. I won't say it, for I do not want to torment you with it. But I want you to know the fire only grows more. As probably what would happen is like essentially letting loose. As I kind of mentioned, the cracks that were on her face kind of lacquer. The hair would rise brightly, but there would be a bigger glow. So suddenly it'd be like a surge of light that pops up behind Aluya as she keeps walking away.
Yeah,
And then Seer just watches.
We discussed this before, like with the fire genasi. Like we made a ruling that, you know, when they experience heavy emotions, like when they let their emotions reign, their fire becomes more bright, their skin more aglow. I imagine you're usually pretty dim, but now you are burning bright as you continue to talk. Luya. Ben is but a block away. And you see...
I don't have enough time to give my answer because I have a long one. But I will say that as Seer is saying at the ending of everything that she says, and it kind of seems like, you know, she is a flame. I ask, is there still a weather effect in the area?
No.
Damn it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna do it for flavor. Then never mind to that. I'll turn to Seer, but I'll say what I have to say next time. But you will get a very serious look on Aluya's face as she looks at you, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll say the scene cuts for you, and we'll fully resolve what Aluya says and does for the rest of the night, the next session we have with you, Nita.
Okay.
All right. Yep, if that's the case. Scene cuts. Trying to make a decision here of who I want to talk to. Rakuzan, you here?
Yes, I am
Gotta go,
here.
guys.
Have a good
You
one.
guys have a good one. Toodaloo.
All right, Rakuzan, as you're at the library, you hear heavy footsteps approaching you, and you see a familiar Goliath in heavy armor holding his a halberd with those colorful tassels. And as he approaches, you just see a perplexing expression on his face. You see his lips are pursed and his eyes are narrowed as he stares at you. I want to know, like, how are you feeling after all the events today? Because it's been a very emotional roller coaster type of day.
Mavet really just doesn't care.
Yeah, and it's plain. It's evident. You see that the Goliath will just say, "Ha ha! Why are you even here?"
I lift up the book of Nagash, show it to him, and then go back to reading.
A Nahash. But, or is that how Mavet reads it? Because he doesn't know his full alphabet.
The N-word book.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if I like that explanation better.
The book of Nahash.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is, why are you here? You don't care. Don't care about anyone around you. Only brought harm to the city. Why are you here, Tree Man?
If Mavet gets smarter, maybe he cares more and stops messing up.
You know, I don't think it's in your nature to change.
You know what?
Here it comes.
No, I'm not going to say that out loud. I'm just going to do something. I will
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead and
I thought you were going to have a
Very
tantrum
good.
through a Mavet.
I'm just
Just
going to
throw
go
your twig
ahead
and
and
berries at
cast
him.
Wild Shape
Okay.
into a cat.
Okay.
Hold
You're-
it for 6 seconds and then drop it.
What a fancy parlor trick. That's not the kind of change I'm talking about. You have the same way of changing like those politicians. You change this, and he waves a hand over his face, but you don't change this, and beats at his chest. I don't think you can change your heart, Tree Man.
And whether I can or cannot, why should I care what you think?
You shouldn't care what I think. What you should care about is the company that you keep. How long are they gonna bear your crimes and actions? How long is anyone going to stand with you when you wish to walk away? You're an ugly, crass creature.
All right, and your words mean nothing to me.
You see him pounding his staff. Then let me give them an edge. Should I see you do anything else nefarious, I shall be the lumberjack to chop you down, Tree. Do you understand me?
All right, shake on it.
He narrows his eyes. I will not touch you. My words speak for themselves. He's hesitant to even trust you. I mean,
Just
you
shakes his
did.
branches.
Yeah, I was gonna say you broke a child's hand before. Like it's an easy connection to see that you would perhaps do something to his hand. He keeps a healthy distance, but you see that it is a plain threat.
So much for a lumberjack scared of a tree. Pathetic. Spit on the ground.
Got sap. Hang on. Okay, I know where we're going with this. You spit on the ground and his brow like begins to furrow. You really pissed him off. He begins to step forward, get into your personal space, and he just goes, "Listen here, you goddamn child. That may work for your friends, but that's not gonna work on me." And he begins to size you up. I believe you guys are roughly the same size. He locks eyes with you. If you want, I'll end you right here, right now.
If that's going to make you happy, all I asked was you to promise that you would fell me. but you won't even shake my hand. You're scared of a tree that you wish to fell.
I am not scared. Do not test me. And you see his hand is shaking. Any further pushes, and he will draw his blade against you. It is up to you, but you are alone within these streets.
Then, if you are a man, just like I am, a tree, shake my hand to make a promise that you will fell me if I do wrong. If not, there's nothing to worry about because I know your words carry no weight since you can't put any action behind them.
Okay. Let's see. Persuasion with disadvantage. I have a DC in mind.
We're gonna have Mavet die again, aren't we?
1 second, let me clear up the map here. Okay. And which section should we use here? I'm going to say right here. You should be familiar with this map already. I will put you where we are here. I'll say this is acting as the library. Right. Allies here. Let me adjust something, because that isn't right. I didn't give him a long rest. Oh. He draws, drop your concentration. He draws his halberd and strikes at you. You change the music here.
Find out where I drop my my concentration.
It's in statuses, or you can do a little icon.
It's so small on my screen.
You know what? I'm gonna take
got
your I'm gonna take your advice, Eddie, because that's fucking good. Before he strikes, he will mutter to himself, "You can lead a horse to water," and shakes his head. I'm gonna keep your original roll, which was higher, 20. And I'll change the music here. You can tell me what you're gonna do as I get things adjusted here.
Sorry, kiddo in the back.
Yep, no problem. Let's
So
go.
he's swinging at me?
Yeah, he's attempting to swing at you. Yeah, just as a reminder, just because combat gets initiated doesn't mean the action actually gets performed. We just roll for initiative, and he'll act when he acts, and you know his intention.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my reaction to redirect attack.
It has not happened yet. You just know he's about to strike. You have your full turn right now.
Oh, my full turn.
Yeah, it's your turn. That's what I'm trying to get across is he rolled up less than you in initiative. So you see him raising it up, about to strike you, and you have your turn.
I will... No. Because I need to stay within him.
Yeah.
Shit, I thought that was gonna hit first, and then I had my other thing. Let's go ahead and cast... Entangle on him.
Okay. Success. For the audience, that's 31. Your branches
will
begin
use
to
my-
wrap around his limbs, and he breaks free of them with ease.
Then use my bonus action to... Where is it? My Arms of Astral Self.
Okay. A
The
bonus
DC
action.
17 saving throw.
Yep. Make that saving throw. Just rolling hot today. 19. No damage.
And then that will be my turn.
Okay. It gets to his turn. All right. And what he is going to do is he is going to do Valve Enmity bonus action. Yep, bonus action. He'll have advantage on attacks against you. And what he will do next is sidestep. And again, because he used his bonus action, he can't use smite against you. But he will make 2 strikes at advantage. Let's see if I do this right. I always forget whether it's control or alt, but we'll see here.
Oh, just to be clear, you're not using the current vengeance statistics, right?
No, I'm just synergizing the fact that Divine Smite is a bonus action, and I believe that would have been the change. But the Valve...
no, it's just that if you'll recall, Valve Enmity now works when you make an attack. It doesn't require your bonus action anymore.
That would have been a hit. I accidentally rolled with disadvantage. Yeah. Again, it's... I'm already making a change to Divine Smite. It uses up the same amount of actions, and the synergy is better. I will reflect this sheet to have that change. So again, it will activate upon the attack, or the successful attack, and he'll use his bonus action to Divine Smite. Thank you, Eddie. And he's not gonna fuck around here. Even with that redirect here, he will make that dexterity saving throw. Well, actually, I'm not sure. Let me see. It was let me do the damage quick, then we'll go over the saving throw. And 3rd level smite. There'll be a 48 on top of that. Okay, and how much does that reduce again? Bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. You can take a reaction to reduce the attack's total damage against you. The reduction equals 1d10 plus your dexterity and monk level. How much is that, buddy?
I gotta make the dex save, I believe.
No, the dex save should be only for me. If yeah, let me see. Okay, I see what you're doing. If you reduce the damage to 0, you can spend 1 point to redirect it. But again, yeah, the dex save would have been for me if you reduced it by that much. All right.
So reduced by 7.
Yeah, reduced by 7, and that's only the main damage, not the radiant. All right, so that would be 12 plus 15, so that'd be 27 damage to you, Mavit. I'll apply it.
Give it to me.
Yep, does 27 damage to you. Swings down his halberd and just begins to chop at your wood, sending chips everywhere. The tassels are flying about. It is now your turn.
Okay. That hurt. What else was I going to changes things? Yeah.
Does my bite match my bark?
I will cast Hold Person.
All right. Well, yeah. You'd be dropping concentration if you attempted it anyways. So, yeah. Right.
Let me ask you another question.
God damn it. Natural 1. He doesn't have legendary resistance or anything. That just works. Let me double check his immunities. Yeah, there are obviously no immunities towards that. He is a humanoid, so he is now paralyzed. All right. Just as a reminder to the party, when you are paralyzed, you have the incapacitated condition. Your speed becomes 0. Saving throws such as strength and dexterity saves automatically fail. Attack rolls against him have advantage, and if you land, an attack is treated as a critical hit.
Then I will go ahead and... This is going to be fun. He can still hear me, though, right?
Yeah. Well, he's just incapacitated.
He can't paralyze his ears. So,
Hang on. He just can't speak. Can't speak, can't take actions. Action, bonus action, reaction.
I will lean into him, whisper into his ear. All I asked was to shake your hand. Then I will take a gold piece out of my pocket. Can I use my free action to put it in his pocket? Or just put it on him? Or in front of him?
Technically too, but I'm not going to split hairs. You do it.
And then I'm just going to walk away.
Okay. They'll end the combat if you maintain it for a minute.
Yeah, my whole goal wasn't to fight him, just to shake his hand.
Yeah.
Well, reminder, he gets repeating saving throws at the end of each of his turns, depending on how fast he gets out.
Yeah, let's start showing me where you're walking. We'll say we'll say that you would have to make it over here. Once you're off the map, you're good. Because the moment you leave this map is the moment you have taken the victory, essentially.
Bonus
You're gonna dash away. I was gonna say, I believe that you have the action economy for it. What's your total speed? And that'd be dash on top of it. I believe that's enough for you just to leave the map.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You leave.
Oh, I will go and say it looks at least a little less badass. This is like, I got you right where I want to. And then you just run away.
Yeah, you fucking run away. I will.
Yeah, well, I couldn't see the distance. I'm like, is this bigger? You know what? I could just use my step of the wind to put a little pep in my step. I'll go to 40
It's just a little bit funny. It's like, I'm not criticizing the decision. I'm just
no, you're
laughing to
criticizing.
myself.
I am going to give him a saving throw.
Okay. Your choice. I'm down for it.
So you're gonna run away and then wait to see if he breaks.
No,
I am
walking.
not running away. I am walking.
He is just walking. There is no dash. All right. He gets the saving throw. I believe it was wisdom. Yep. Wisdom saving throw. And that was your first mistake. He loses a paralyzed condition, but I believe that only happens at the end of his turn. Yep. He shakes it, and you hear him yelling after you. Face me! Coward! You know that You lost concentration for the spell. And he is just hitting down on his halberd. And you hear a little bit of a tink, 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 tink as a gold coin is thrown at your foot. We settled this now, Tree Man.
I'm
Again,
just gonna ignore him. He won't even give me the time of day to shake my hand.
he did call you a coward.
His words mean nothing to me.
Okay. And you walk off the map then?
Yep. I will walk all the way to the edge of the map. I need 5 more feet, so I'll dash
Do you?
a little bit
So now
faster.
you're running after he called you a coward.
I'll run the last step.
Face me! Face me! Me! Ends the combat. Okay. I will say, and I want you to write it down, that you now have a scar across your chest. All right, Gumo. We haven't talked to you in a while. What's happening? A lot of stuff has occurred. If you're talking, you're muted.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, no, just managed to unmute myself.
Yep. There you go. So what are you doing? Like perhaps no, not that. I'm gonna give you something to interact with here. I'm gonna say like as you're collecting your thoughts and after you go through your internal deliberation, you do see something in the corner of your eye. It is a pale white sea elf child as they're just sitting down on the stairs leading to the dais, and they're swinging their legs.
Oh, that one again.
Waves at you once you notice him. Hey, mister.
Hello, child. What are you
didn't-
doing here?
I didn't want to interrupt you. Seemed like you're pretty busy.
Yes, he was very fussy about the way things turned out, but I've managed to maintain control for now.
Yeah, that isn't good, mister.
Sniffles.
I gotta say,
Well,
it was pretty wild in here. I never seen things get so crazy before.
Sniffles.
things get crazy like this all the time when you're on the road, especially if you seek it out.
You made a promise with me, mister. I still don't know where mom and dad are.
Unfortunately, I'm not the best at finding things.
Squints his eyes at you.
I'll
Are you gonna
cut
break
you...
our promise?
No, but I will unfortunately have to ask for assistance from the more, perhaps, knowledgeable members of those that I currently travel with. Much to my displeasure at being unable to assist you on my own.
You're the only person that could help me. I don't think they could help.
Then I guess we'll have to get back to searching then. It's not like I need to sleep.
And as you're staring at them and you look away for a second and look back, they disappear. And you look to the opposite side, your flank, and you just see them right next to you, a hand holding yours.
Let's get going then.
Yes, my nasally child. Let's get going.
I'm not nasally.
Sure you aren't.
You ever play Wind Waker as Zelda?
No.
Oh, fuck's sake. There's a
I don't like
small...
Zelda, actually. That's my hot
Okay.
take for today. I don't like the
Oh,
Legend of
shut
Zelda.
the fuck up. All right, whatever. The point I was trying to make is there's a character in the very starting area with like the longest bit of like snot coming out of the nose. It's like the cartoonish like thing that follows. But yeah, like this kid has the same thing. It's just like a very long streak of mucus.
Blow your fucking nose.
It's
Ghost
a spectral.
snot. Oh, it's ectoplasm. It's just
It's a
ectoplasm.
spectral boogie. I can't get rid of it.
It's a spectral boogie and he starts breaking it down.
But yeah, you've done this before. The DC is lowered. Give me an investigation check.
Can I give myself bardic inspiration?
No, you cannot. That is not a thing you can do.
Right. That's right. That's a stupid one.
Stupid one thing. Stupid rules.
The dang one subclass that can do it.
Mm.
All right.
Is that
9. You know what? I'm going to spend knowledge from a past life on this because I'm getting really annoyed now.
Go ahead.
3. Does a 12 make it?
The previous DC was 15, which you failed before. It was reduced to 10. I hope to God that you would get it. You nearly
Right, you
failed.
keep giving me investigation. I only have a +2 because of Jack of all trades. It's
Hey.
awful.
Hey, it's not my fault you built your character this way.
Didn't build my character for investigation. That was never a part of the plan.
You begin to search through the city. You find yourself in the heart, and what you do find is again there are still efforts to like dig through the rubble and like clean places off. Bodies are still being found, but it's not like an extraordinary amount was found under rubble. Like so far the count is nearly in the 24. As you begin to look around, you do see like you see a house on the border between the Heart and the Prism View district. And within the house, you see a collapsed ceiling. And the smell of copper is in the air as you approach. To go a little bit further here, there is the ceiling is collapsed. There is a bunch of rubble. There is stains of red in certain areas. And to top it off, you do hear like the rattling of a cage. What do you do?
So it sounds like this rattling of a cage is within this kind of demolished building.
Yep. You can investigate the ceiling, go through the rubble, investigate the stains, or try to find the source of that rattling.
Well, I'm going to try to find the source of that rattling by activating my sunblade and cutting in through the rubble.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
All the rest of this is investigation. I can't do that. I'll just cut my way to the source.
Okay. Post that sword for me one more time. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any effects from it.
Yep. I'll just hit the attack button to get it up and should display everything.
Appears in the hand. Has that. This is a luminous. Okay, so there's nothing really special besides the fact that it's magical. Unfortunately, this would be a situation where having an adamantine item would be beneficial for you, but you don't. This takes time. Let me try to think how much time. This is what I'm gonna settle on. Give yourself 1 level of exhaustion. Because you're taking a brute force method and you're not approaching it in the smartest fashion with the least amount of effort. You're not physically moving stuff, you're not getting shovel or hammer, you're trying to cut through it. And that's just mincing it. You will get the job done at the cost of exhaustion.
Ah, there we are.
Yep. You heave, you're breathing heavily, and you're getting closer and closer to the cage, or the rattling sound, until you see a cage. Within it, you do see what looks to be an otter, and it's just wiggling around in the cage, making squeaking sounds. Looks like this creature is a pet, and you can tell by the why am I blanking? Collar. There we go. The collar with the tag. I wanted to say leash. So goddamn bad.
Well, now, this is something. Tell me, boy, was this your pet?
Yeah. I'm glad that he's doing okay. How you doing, Snookadoodles?
And just gets on a knee, tries to pet it, but again, the animal doesn't see it. But if you ever seen like animals before a tragedy or like some natural disaster, they usually act as a warning. Like barking and making weird erratic movements. That's kind of what happens when like the dead child makes a move to touch them. It's almost like they're sensing something that most other people would not, and it's freaking it the fuck out.
Snickerdoodle is just
well.
me. Calm down. It's okay, buddy.
He seems to still be rattled from his. Gonna look around. Rapid home collapse. I think we give him a minute. And I'm gonna start inspecting those blood stains that you were talking about.
Keep in mind the creature itself looks like it's been starving. Not crazily so, but again, being trapped under rubble, it hasn't eaten any food lately, and it's very erratic at the bars. But you can make a motion for investigating the bloodstains.
Well, you know what, Gray? I don't have anything to feed it with since I don't need to eat. So unless it wants to eat perfume, I think it's going to be all right.
Okay.
It's been surviving on a diet of snickerdoodles like the past several months. It needs real food.
I'm sure we'll find something to feed it with amongst the rubble here.
Yeah. Do you also chop away at the rest of the rubble where the bloodstains are?
No, not this time.
Okay. What do you do?
Good question.
Yeah, there's still the ceiling. There's still these blood stains. Like there's still a couple things for you to look at here.
Could I use sleight of hand to pull away at specific objects that seem like they're kind of important to maintaining the kind of like rubble-ish formation that it's in? Kind of get it all to tumble away.
That's a hell of a pull.
I got nothing else.
Yeah, I know. I would say investigation first, then I'd allow for the check.
All right. Gonna hit you with a big fat no on that one, Chief.
Nope. You can't find any keystones.
All right, then I guess I'll just start pulling away with the athletics. Which is gonna be just a straight check.
Okay.
Don't think there's
Yeah,
anything I can do with acrobatics, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say do athletics on a failure. Again, you will be becoming more exhausted, but again, it's not guaranteed like using a fucking sword. DC was 10. He
All
rolled a
right.
10. Yep, you did good. You're going at it. You're sweating, and what you see is a man and a woman embraced, and it looks like they're lumped over something. Again, just typical Polynesian, colorful, tribal clothes and white locks of hair tangled in with each other, matted with dried blood.
Pull them off, get a look at what they're huddled over.
You pull them off, and you see a small child that looks remarkably similar to the one you've been guiding. And it seems from a lack of bruising that you can tell he suffocated to death. He did not die on impact. His parents embraced each other and used themselves as shield to protect their child.
Well, that's a piss poor way to go. How long does it look like they've been dead for?
Okay. Because it's the end of today, they have been dead for about a day. Or I should say a day and a half.
Okay. I need to look at something really quick, which I am having trouble doing because, of course, my monitor has decided that it wants to crap the bed. One moment. Ah, okay. So, Gray. The last time I casted Reincarnate, we used just 1,000 gold as a substitute for the materials involved. Would that work the same here?
Like you have, I'm gonna say for this particular instance that because you are in a marketplace and they're beginning to rebuild and try to rebuild commerce here, I can say that you could get the material component fairly easy, just to keep things on the straight and narrow here. But if you do leave Frostheart, you will need to have a stockpile.
Yeah. And if I want to do it 3 times, twice before a long rest, 1 afterwards, would you say it still applies to that and that I just need to spend 3,000 gold?
Yes, you just need to spend 3,000 gold.
All right, I'll take 3,000 gold off my sheet.
Yeah, let's just encompass this because I don't want to spread it out. Just make sure that you used when you take a long rest, make sure that you use the spell slot. Don't forget that. But we'll make this a little bit more cinematic since you are capable of doing it, and I don't plan on killing you yet.
Wow. Thanks,
you're
Greg.
fine. I'd be more hesitant if I had some plans or events, but you guys are reaching the end of the day here. Please tell me what the ritual looks like.
Yeah, so he's going to first things first, he's going to start clearing away the rubble to make a lot more space. And then, once he's done doing that, he's going to start setting up the oils around their bodies, drawing various different like circles upon circles upon circles, and then in the center he draws kind of like a lich's skull with like some glowing streaks coming out of it, and then he touches his hands down to the first two of the bodies, the child and the father, and then he's going to begin to channel that blue and also the green energies of his spirit into the circles. And as they start to glow, there's that same pull in the sky as what happened before with the father. But with the boy, his soul, whether he likes it or not, gets pulled directly back into his body as they begin to change and reshape themselves from the soul, from the forge of whatever cauldron these souls are in.
All right.
That said, I'm going to spend
I
first
don't think
one just to
I don't
get
think you have the
table
money
out.
to like do all three.
I
unless
do.
you already okay, you changed it.
I started
already?
off with
Gotcha.
5,000. I
Understood.
spent the money.
Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you for being clear with that. Make a roll 3 times on the table. D10.
All right. Slash roll 1d10. Be the first one is an Azamar, so that's
Yep.
Dad
say
turns into
a
an
sea elf.
Azamar.
Yeah, Sea Elf
Yep.
Asmar.
Second one is a Goliath, so the boy changes into a Goliath child.
Yeah, announce which one's which. So, what's the first one?
The first one is the father turns into an Azamar. The boy changes into a Goliath.
Mm-hmm. Hell of a pairing.
And the mother, once I spend 4 hours long resting, also turns into an
okay.
Azamar.
I actually do like the composition of this family. It's much like legitimately 2 guardian angels and now a cursed child. Or at least within the context of this culture.
That is such a wild, lucky set of rolls.
Yeah. Like it. Okay. The ritual goes on, and we see both of the parents rise with a holy glow, glowing eyes, halo, wings, and what have you. And the child, it looks like ash was spread onto his face, and tattoos and grooves begin to form on the body. The hair drops and they become bald. You see a child Goliath, and now it is twice its height, about 5 feet tall, given the stature of Goliaths and children. In fact, I would say
He came back almost as tall as I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say the parents and the child are damn near the same height now. Just want to double check one more thing. With reincarnate, do they come back as a similar age?
It doesn't appear to state. So presumably yes.
Yeah, it retains the same form, loses traits of the previous race. Yeah, so I'll keep the age. But what we'll go with here is the family is shocked. They look at each other and slowly embrace one another in a long hug. What does Gumo look like as you see this family alive and reunited?
He's once he sees that they're alive and reunited, he kind of takes a seat up on the top of the destroyed house and just kind of watches for a moment. Just watches, sitting like cross-legged up above, kind of just laying back because he spent like 3 level 5 spell slots within the course of like 6 hours. So he's very much tired and drained, but as he kind of sits there, he tilts his head, kind of smacks his lips like a A nicely salted venison. That's a new taste.
Mhm.
I'll have to lock that one down. And then he does the dead body equivalent of passing out.
Mhm.
Just kind of flops over like a dead body.
I'm fairly certain the entire 3 castings should have been 3 hours, right?
3 hours for each, yep, and then the 4 hours spent long resting to get the third cast, so 7 hours.
No, don't worry about that. We're not gonna focus too much on the specifics here. I'll say that the castings itself took 3 hours. It took an additional hour to find the house. Then you had a long rest. You expend that additional spell slot upon finishing your long rest.
I'm essentially saying the 7 hours because he's tired, is basically the way
Yeah.
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, and because we're doing some liberal hand waving, I'm gonna maintain that you must keep that exhaustion, but you'll get the benefits of a long rest.
Alright. Oh, look, Dead made a cameo?
All right, one more time. Sorry.
Nothing, just saw something in chat, was talking to myself.
Okay. But yes, that's where we find you. Let's hear where everyone is resting and doing, and we'll finish off the session here. Let's circle back to Eddie. Eddie, where do we find you resting, or at least doing, as you go to rest?
Honestly, Eddie has had a very stressful days.
Yeah, what is Eddie's way of coping with this kind of stress? Like, is he just going to be smoking a lot, or just going to bear it?
It's like I think if he would really was really looking to relax somewhere, it's like I would imagine that he would try to find although I guess none of that kind of stuff would really be around in a still rebuilding city. Like it just would have been nice to be able to go to a place where he could take a dip and then sleep later. Basically just a very long, relaxing pool and or tub session, and then
Yeah, you know what? I'm willing to roll with it. Here's what I'm willing to say. Perhaps, after the court talk with Solmaris, we see you outside, right before Whalesong Hall, or at least the tower. There's still a pulley system with a basket, ready for excursions out to the surface. Tomorrow is the day. Presumably, Boreas should be going through his sleeping cycle starting tomorrow, and it should be safe to travel on the surface. You can see that a familiar figure is coordinating a couple events, and he is ready to go home. It is the face of Corvus, the head of justice, and he waves you down as he begins to walk homeward. Mr. Hayes, may I have a moment?
Sure. What's up?
We've been making a lot of plans moving forward with Frostheart, and I must say I commend your efforts within the court today and how you handled everything. I must say, and he gives a smile, I haven't felt my heart beat so loudly like that in years. You do have a way of speaking, talking.
may I interest you in an extended dialogue at my home?
Sure, why not? I hope the company's good.
Yes. And he gives a smile. Perhaps some wine. Maybe a dip in the pool?
And he gives a small
Oh,
chuckle.
you have a pool.
Nods.
There are perks with living on the wall. You know, there is a bit of a hot spring around here that we take advantage of. Please, let me show you to it.
And we cut to you and Corvus, just towels on forehead, just in a hot tub jacuzzi, like in this like pocket of ice. Bit of steam coming from it. Oh, this is divine. And you see him swirling a bit of wine in a glass and taking a sip.
I'm not gonna question where this heat is coming from.
Interesting story about that. And I need to ask you, Eddie. You don't see any significant other in the household. It seems like he's the kind of person that dedicated his life to the cause here. And you're getting a wavelength, a feeling with keeping his company. That perhaps if you pushed a little bit, this could be a fun night. What does Eddie do?
So, is this the only way you like to unwind after a long, stressful night?
Persuasion check with advantage.
There, with all the
Imagine the camera, like this is an over-the-shoulder shot of Corvus, and he's blurred out. You're the focus of it, still submerged in the water. And once you ask that, you hear a chuckle, and you see him stand up, and the camera only catches his ass. But it's clear something's swinging in the wind here.
God damn it.
But you hear a chuckle and just go,
Why, Mr. Hayes, I believe we can make this a night to remember. Come here.
well,
we
what
know
can
who's
I
on
say?
top.
I have been sentenced to community service.
Oh my.
So, not only do we know that they are a fanfic writer, but they are a fanfic creator. Got it.
mm-hmm. That I don't
Creator,
think I
that
can.
sounds like a fanfiction actor.
I don't think I can beat
too.
that. I don't think I can beat that one-liner. And I believe we got most people covered. That would be a good ending point, but I still want to hear from Mavet. Mavet, you have a scar across your chest. You're walking aimlessly around town. Where do you find yourself at the end of the day to rest? Oh yeah, that's right. Fuck me.
Careful. That might be another fanfic that might be made.
Could be.
Just gonna say, it sounds
Dog
like it's already
agrees.
kind of happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we know where Eddie's sleeping tonight. We know where Gumo's sleeping tonight. Seer, we're still going to resolve you. I'm gonna give Rakuzen just a minute here. If he can't make it back, then we'll just end the session there.
I mean, what I can tell you, depending on I'll give you two options just so that you know ahead of time. Unless Aaliyah blows Seer's socks off, I don't think that they're going to. Let me be real, based off the vibe of things, I think Aaliyah is still going to want their private time, as far as I know. So I think in Seer's case, so that they don't accidentally burn down the whole place being on fire, it's going to find a place to cool off. They won't be sleeping in an inn because
Okay.
I don't think anyone wants them in an inn. Hi, can I have a room here? Lights the roof on fire.
All right. Rakusen, are you with us? All right. Then I guess I'll just end the session here. And next time we meet up, we will resolve what Seer and Aluya talk about. And we're going to make a shit ton of rolls and see where the party's going to be going off next. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and hope to see you all soon.
All right.
This has been House Common Blood. The intro and outro music is Oh My Dog by Savik, and any other music and sound effects used in the episode are royalty free. Credits can be found in the episode description. Please review us on whatever podcast listening app you happen to be using, and if you like us, tell other people. Word of mouth is the best way for us to grow. Thank you for joining us. Iola Skyju.